Hi everyone, Erica Rendell here to talk about Vancouver's West Side real estate areas, days on market, price per square foot, sales ratio, and just talk about the numbers over the last 40, 50 days. I think I last did a video on the West Side about a month and a half ago. And it was so interesting, or it was just sort of a different time in the marketplace because there was a lot of new rules coming into effect this month, and we are seeing them take place. For example, the cooling off period, which is a whole other video. You are now allowed to retract your offer or change your mind if you make an offer on a property with a fee, of course. There's a 0.25 fee for that type of walking away from the transaction, so to speak, but very big sort of new information for buyers and realtors. We're representing the buyers, the cooling off period. We've got the foreign buyers restriction on purchasing property in Vancouver, BC, and of course, all the strata buildings that previously had rental restrictions are now allowed to rent out their properties. So there were a lot of topics that were hot topics that were being discussed. We haven't really seen the implications of any of these topics over the last 4 weeks or so. It's far too soon to see how any of this is going to make a difference in our marketplace, but we do know that the market in December was a slower marketplace as expected because people were away on holidays, including myself. I hope everyone had a really good time off and was able to enjoy the holidays over the last month or so, but typically we do see sales numbers down, inventory down a little bit towards the end of November and December. So I don't get all, excited or worried when I see the numbers being lower than I usually do during sort of the last 3 weeks of December, simply because it is typically a slower time in the year. But this year, based on the few matters that I just spoke about, a little more concerning because of the interest rates and the inflation and other external factors. When we do look closely at the numbers, including the West Side neighborhoods, Kitsilano, Fairview, which are the most two active areas in Vancouver West Side, meaning they have the most number of sales in the condos, townhomes, category style properties, but including Point Grey, the university, going south, we've got Mackenzie Heights, Kerrisdale, going right out to the Southlands. And of course, when I speak of the West Side, we're also talking about Mount Pleasant, Vancouver West Side neighborhoods as well. Falls Creek, the Olympic Village area. So all these areas are the neighborhoods that I'm referring to. Okay, days on market, we're looking at 26 days on the marketplace. So an extra week to sell your property. That's not a big change over the last few months. We're looking at a 99% sales to list price ratio. So if you list your price or your home, for example, at $1 million, you can expect the sale price to be very close to $1 million, if not, 995,000, so to speak. So a very small sort of difference there. We do have a lower number of inventory. The inventory, which is of course the number of homes coming to the marketplace, is down 34%. This is a big drop in homes for sale. We were hoping, as we got into the third quarter of 2022 to see that number continue to increase, but we're seeing the total opposite. We are seeing the inventory numbers decrease. So that is still helping the properties in the West Side of Vancouver sustain their value. We're not seeing a lot of sellers rushing to the marketplace. We're not seeing more inventory that we were hoping for. So the inventory being down is going to continue to be a huge topic in Vancouver City because the balance in real estate, it's all about supply and demand. And if we don't have enough product to keep up with demand, that's where we're going to creep towards more of a seller's marketplace. The actual marketplace right now, as they define it in these West Side areas, it is a balanced marketplace. The sales ratio right now is sitting at 20%. 20% is just under 21%, which of course is for a sustained number of months. If that number sits in that range is when we can say that it's a seller's market. Being between 12% and 20%, it is a balanced marketplace, which is where we're seeing most of the activity levels in Vancouver, in the West Side and the East Side. And of course, below that 12% is when we can call it a buyer's marketplace, when there's more room for negotiation. Okay, the sold properties are actually down almost 25%. So we've got inventory down 34%, sales are down. We've got the sale price actually being $893,000. That's $893,000, and that price is down 10%. So from just actually a month and a half prior, which was 995,000. So we saw a drop in sales price, solds, inventory, even in buyer confidence, because I think a lot of buyers are waiting and they're hoping to see a change in the interest rate. So hopefully we'll see a downwards trend starting to happen in the first 3 to 6 months of this year. I think a lot of buyers are adjusting to the new rates, being at fixed and variable at above 5%, because we are still seeing activity. So although all the numbers are being dragged down, if you've got a great suite in any of these neighborhoods, if it does show well, if it's marketed well, if you've got a good realtor on your side, you'll see a successful sale in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, what else do we have? The buyer's best bet are the more expensive, higher priced properties between 2 million and 2.25. And the seller's best bet, meaning if you have a one-bedroom style property or up to a one-bedroom style home, including a loft with no bedroom, even if it is a glorified bachelor in downtown, you are in that most active price band range, and between sort of 5 and 6 to 650,000, that is the seller's best bet. It's a pretty interesting marketplace as we head into the new year, as we are in the new year, as we look sort of forward over the next month or so. We're all kind of on taking caution, and we're all kind of hopeful to see more confidence with the buyers and the sellers and the activity. But rest assured, if you are looking for a new home, there are good homes available. There is good inventory. I've been looking at some pre-sales over the last, couple of months myself, and there are some great incentives on some properties that are not built yet, being a pre-sale, but there are a lot of options available for buyers. If you needed to tap into your equity, to consider making a purchase or an upwards move, or if you're curious about what your home's value is, and if you need to sell your property in the next 6 months and you need a home evaluation, you've got to reach out to your realtor and talk about your specific neighborhood, because there's so many aspects to the whole process if you're selling or if you're going to be purchasing a property. And you really need to know your numbers: price per square foot, days on market, what's selling, what's not, is it a good time? So that's what we are here for. If you do have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. It's Erica Rendell, and I'll be doing an Eastside report sometime soon as well. And you can, follow me for regular real estate updates if you're interested. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Talk to you later.